temporary or permanent, if it was just excavation from the pond. I mean, there's a lot of questions.
My experience in Holland.
I think you can watch it. You can watch it.
The engineering.
Around the property.
With the engineering.
Not coming from anywhere else?
It looks like there was a file across the street.
I know.
North, what is it?
Well, north of that. I asked Jeff directly, I was in a meeting with people asking us, people saying they see trucks going between the roads.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know anything about that. Like, well, could
Okay.
into it yet?
I
I didn't hear back, but good question.
Well, I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah.
They had sort of like,
Yeah, I think it's zoned for, I think you can shoot 22 homes. Yeah, but there's been no, like,
Yeah.
but they're, yeah, they did
get that. They didn't come to us. We went after that.
Yeah, but really 450.
Well, his name's on the side across the street, because he's the realtor for it. It's not Van Allen, but he bought, you know the one house that's on the street across from House Trail? The White House? He bought that house along with all the property. So he lives, you know, he basically, he lives on the side. Yeah, he's on that.
That will be good for her.
Exactly.
We just need to figure out. Make sure that.
I'd like to call the Planning Commission meeting to order for Monday, October 28th, 2019. Roll call, all are present and accounted for. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Has everybody had a chance to review the agenda for this evening? Are there any questions on the agenda, additions, deletions?
I move that we accept the agenda as written. I'll second.
Any questions on the motion? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed by saying nay? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the October 28th, 2019 Planning Commission meeting. I'm sorry, for the September 23rd, 2019. Any questions on the first page?
Yes. Well, I'm way at the bottom though. Once the official rules, staff would like to invite our attorney to be present. I missed the to be.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have that?
Also, on number 4, the last sentence, motion by Rowe, should add motion passed by unanimous voice vote. And then the very last sentence at the bottom, it says Andy suggested, it probably should be my last name.
Oh, Preet, just say Preet suggested.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay, thank you. No?
Anything else on page 1? Page 2?
Yes. The discussion, as reported by Lene Wells, should be a period after Wells. Do you have any data? I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, under private roads, where it says review/consider a second means, add the word a, because we will adhere instead of adhering, take off the ing to the fire code.
Okay, anything else?
Not that I found.
Anybody have anything else on page 2? Page 3. Page 4.
Yes. In the first little circle, last sentence there, it says possibly a medial marijuana grow facility, and it should say medical instead of medial. Sorry about that. And towards the bottom, it's under the filled in dot, prior to the 1, 2, 3, 4, says also included in that regulation, it should be the regulation, MR, TMA, and then a capital on the C in number 2. Designated consumer establishment, make it a capital C.
Anything else on page 4? Page 5. I've got, Roundup should be capitalized.
Yep.
Yes, I got that too.
And on both sides of that, Griffin, Graham is misspelled, it's I-N.
Oh,
Should that be last name instead of first name?
Well, there's some that are, I don't know, that's kind of up to you. There's the use of first names throughout this stuff. I'm sorry, if you go up to the top,
yes,
the
okay.
paragraph that starts with Helmrich, Griffin's also at the end of that sentence.
Okay, I'm sorry, Griffin.
So that's up to you, because it's Linnea or sometimes Linnea.
I always call Linnea Linnea. Should I say Wells? Would you like me to do last
I
name?
think it makes best sense to use last names.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, I apologize for all the mistakes this time.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you.
I was kind of pushed because I didn't have the stick. It took a week and a half to get it, so it was like a challenge. But there's no reason for that. Okay.
Page 5. Entertain a motion. I would move that we accept the minutes of the September 23, 2019 Planning Commission meeting as amended. I'll second. Any questions on the motion? Any discussion? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed by saying nay? Motion carries.
Would it be possible to get a copy just for a few minutes to read while you guys move forward? Minutes from somebody?
Here you go.
Just borrow it, thank you. Appreciate it, thanks, Andy. You're welcome.
Okay, number 5 on the agenda, this is at the point in the meeting where we allow public comments. These comments can pertain to anything, but we would like you to hold the comments if you have any comments regarding the agenda items for the public hearing. Anybody in the first row? Second row? Anybody at all? Okay, no public comments. Under new business, the first item is the site plan review for 6310 Gleason Road for a woodworking boat restoration storage studio in a 50 by 80 foot accessory building within the light industrial zoning district. Is there somebody here to present what you would like to do, or is Lene gonna do that for you?
Okay.
Hello, and good evening, everyone. Okay, so we purchased this lot last March for the purpose of building this 80 by 50 building. It's a pole barn. And just starting with something basic, we thought it'd be a simple thing to do, but Mitchell will use it, because he's a wonderful woodworker, very talented. And he's made furniture and lots of things, so it's his hobby. So he's made, restored small boats, and maybe, he'll put boats in storage. So that is the purpose of this building. And, we would enjoy this discussion with you this evening, with the rules and the ordinances and whatnot. We want to make sure that it looks authentic, and we want to make sure that it's fire safe. And so we will make changes, like the automatic sprinkling system. We'd like to have it built into the workshop, and that'll work with the engineering and the building inspector. So I'm hoping that you will approve our site plan. Okay? Thank you.
Lene, would you like to
Sure.
go over the standards?
We've had the opportunity to work closely with the applicant, also the fire department and the township engineer on this request. We've had a great collaboration with the applicant, as we're all kind of learning the requirements that, especially the fire department has regarding woodworking. So there have been some conversations since this report was issued, and I know you've read our report as well as the reports from the other reviewing agencies. I have worked with the applicant, and they are agreeable to the conditions and recommendations. A couple of things in the planning report that I wanted to bring up. We did note that the requirement for the exterior wainscoting, so the elevation, we do have some design standards for buildings in industrial and commercial districts. The applicant did speak with me, and they are going to be doing the wood wainscoting instead of metal. So they are going to comply with that condition. So that is addressed. I also wanted to note that the front yard setback should be 75 feet. And part of that building is in excess of 75 feet. Some of it is closer because it's on an angle, that front property line. But we did work with the applicant, and they are amenable to meeting that 75 foot for the whole building. So I just wanted to point those two things out from the planning report. So we did find that it meets the requirements of our ordinance. There are a few matters that the applicant is working out with the Township Fire District. I know that they're going to be utilizing a smaller area within the entire building for the woodworking, which might help them to not have to sprinkle the entire building, or they may not have to sprinkle any of that building based on the square footage area that they use for the actual woodworking. So I just wanted to bring that up, but certainly before any building permit is issued, Chris Mantles and the fire district would ensure that they comply with the standards. And then in terms of the engineering report, I know the applicant's aware of the hookup charges for utilities, and, they're working closely with Dana, on their conditions of approval.
I noticed on the drawing, they've got the wainscoting goes up, a total of 4 feet. Is that high enough to meet our standard? That seems awfully short.
That was a comment that I had about the percentage of, area for the wainscoting. We can review that with the applicant. It's 50% of the exterior finished material, excluding the roof, visible from the street. So we would have to take into account the glazing and the windows and the doors and the overhead door. I think when they submit their final plans for building, we will verify that that meets the requirement.
Okay, great. The only other question that I had, I don't see any designated parking
Yeah, I know that too.
on the site plan.
I consider that concrete pad for the parking area, but that is a question we can ask the applicant.
I think the fire,
He might be,
Hang on a second.
I think he might be answering.
Say it again. I don't plan on painting yellow lines for people to park. It's mostly just for myself, because I'll just be parking there. Yeah, because I'm the only employee that's there.
It's a one-man show.
But if he has, storage
If
or
I stop by for a cup of coffee.
clients that come in, people are storing their boat there, this 50-foot pad is basically right in front of the door. So there really is, no designated parking, and they can't. I don't imagine the fire department is going to allow them to block that door with parking vehicles.
Is there a requirement for parking?
no, but there's a question about where we park then.
Right.
Yeah, there's not a requirement.
If that's the considered turnaround, the fire code states that there cannot be any parking allowed there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this isn't a road, or, so I don't think that standard applies either as far as the turnaround, because fire trucks would never leave Gleason Road, I don't believe. They'd be right on Gleason Road. Is there, you don't know, is there a requirement for that?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
I do not have a requirement for their woodworking shop to have parking.
Okay.
Right. All right. Yeah, that's my sense, is that there's no requirement for this, okay.
Is this the first, so Gleason Road, is this something new, that whole street is gonna be industrial, is that what it?
It's been zoned industrial for some time.
And this is just the first bill.
Yeah, right. Yeah, surprising quite a lot.
I was utterly shocked. I thought I was going into this, I'd seen a middle of the woods, and going into it, I thought it was building a barn, and ended up being light commercial, or light industrial. So I was just surprised by that, so. Just curious.
Well, I believe the property used to be a junkyard.
Wow. So there's a lot of things gonna happen there to make that light industrial. Got big plans for that road then, Probably. Or
If there's water.
Over the years.
A lot of it doesn't have water connection.
If it materializes, yes, that, it's been zoned light industrial for some time.
So it's my understanding there won't be any outside lighting? Will there be outside lighting?
No, we don't plan on that.
Okay. And where will the trash be?
Will there be lights on the, yeah, there'll be lights on the building, but as far as where the concrete pad and in front of that, no, we weren't planning on that.
So the building lights would be required to be downshot.
Yeah, any lighting would have to be downward facing.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then you had a
And just,
question
we'll
about the
just keep that simple.
The location of the trash and stuff to go out, please?
Or they may just have a small container like.
Just, we'll just have a couple of cans,
Inside.
and that'll be inside, and when that's full, and then whatever day the trash comes for pickup, you know, just like at home, right? We
Like a
just bring it out.
residential, yeah.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. I don't have any other questions.
I don't think I do either.
Anybody else have any other questions, comments?
Can we discuss about that, about the 75 foot off the road deal? You know, because that's on an angle there, are you guys good with the site plan, or are you with the setbacks that we have listed on there? Are you like making an average, because, you know, I got part of it set back at 88 feet and the other side set closer than that? How are you guys looking at that?
It would have to be the closest point, would have to be a minimum of 75 feet. So you'd have to shift that back to attain that 75 feet, make your driveway a little bit longer.
Okay.
Any other questions, these people?
We have no questions.
So, city water, yes, here.
Yes.
City sewer is in the works, not coming. What is the plans for that?
Septic.
Right, so city sewer is not in the future plans or anything like that?
Not soon enough for this project.
Okay.
I mean, they're talking about it.
Okay,
but I don't
that's
know
all
if there's any.
so nothing is in the works?
John, there's no.
the conversations, as you know, coming from Lake Town with that, which have been ongoing.
Oh, so we're talking like something.
Oh,
It's a very expensive
I heard
proposition.
enough. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's not imminent, let's put it that way.
Yeah, for one shop.
It's not being ignored, but
Okay.
Yeah, just for one shop.
All right.
Nobody has any other questions or comments? Entertain a motion?
Yeah, I would move that we approve, the application along with the 8 recommendations from the zoning administrator's, overview letter dated October 15, 2019. And I would add a number 9 that simply states that the entire building must meet the 75-foot setback from Gleason Road. I'll second that.
So I do have a question regarding that, about the 75 feet. Because the landscaping and the property ends, so it has to be 75 feet from where we measured it, and most of it meets the 75 feet, but, hang on just a moment.
Can we, hey guys, can we clarify that 75 feet as far as, is that from center line, or how,
Let me find
how
it.
do you guys look at that?
From the property
It's
line.
from the property line. And at the one point, you're 49, almost 9 inches, 49 feet, 9 inches. So it's 25 feet shy of the setback.
There's it. I think it's further.
Need that, the property line,
Yeah.
that,
Well, let me, I'm a little confused. You're showing the setback. Is Gleason Road an easement, or is it a?
This is the drawing I have. We measure from the property line.
But
is that the Gleason Road?
So what point line isn't,
it's showing it from the right of way.
Right.
I
Because
think
if
we
that's,
should make the condition that the setback has to conform to our zoning ordinance, and we can look at the how we measure it when I have a little bit more time.
okay,
I mean, regardless, we have to meet the ordinance standards.
right,
The only way around that would be a variance.
Right.
We're not here tonight. We don't issue variances at the planning commission. But being that I'm new, and I've been looking through here to figure out if there's any exceptions for lots on an angle. I haven't found one, but there are things in this ordinance that I've yet to
but
explore.
if it does state the property line, then they're well within that.
Right. So I think our condition would be that they meet the ordinance standards for
Okay.
setbacks.
So then I would revise my motion, and number 9 be that, that the entire building meet the township's, setback requirement, whatever it might be.
Perfect.
And maybe it already does.
And I will second the revised motion.
Okay?
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying nay. Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And I'll look at that setback,
Yeah.
tonight. I'll email you.
Perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you much. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome.
Item B, under new business, special approval use public hearing and site plan review application for, parcel also known as 3577 64th Street for a medical marijuana provision center. The applicant is Agromed. Yes, please.
Good evening. I've got some information for you guys as well, that you might want to take a look at if you want to hand this around. I've been,
is that your board there too?
no, I can bring it up here though.
No, that's okay. I just was gonna say, if it's your board, we can bring it up.
Oh, okay, yep, no, I brought some budget prints if you need to address anything specific, all the plans will be on the same as I put in before. The information I provided.
Could you have a plan somewhere so that the public can see the plan as well on it? We used to do that. Do you not do that anymore?
He's got it right there.
Yeah, would you like me to put it up?
Well,
Yeah.
put it on a board, I mean,
We'll bring it
that's
up.
really standard.
No problem, yep.
So we can all see the plan and appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you.
Here's another one. Did you get that? Oh,
Maybe
here.
Why don't you bring it up here?
Oh.
No, there's.
I've got the existing as well as the proposed.
Here are the, some pens.
I've got the existing, I know you guys, I think you already have, but I'll put up the new proposal if you'd like. I've also got updated copies if you need as well. So what we have here is just kind of a zoomed in version. I provided this information with you guys. The information that I just wanted to make sure you've got updated is we were going back and forth with the Allegheny County Road Commission on the acceleration deceleration lane requirements compared to what they wanted and what you guys have in your ordinance. The proposed driveway in is approximately to where the kind of south loop to the existing drive is. But what we were trying to figure out is related to the stop sign. And because there's a stop sign there, we kind of thought it was a little bit unique that they wanted an acceleration, deceleration if you were to come out and go to the right into that. But after going back and forth with them, we proposed to move the existing drive-in slightly farther north, but we ended up leaving it back 90 feet according to your zoning ordinance. So they were happy, Allegheny County Road Commission, and they matched you guys. John Sharp from Traffic and Safety Superintendent there also commented on it. I just wanted you to see that. They wanted to keep the drive on 64th Street as well. Regarding the public sewer, we're connecting to the existing sanitary sewer lateral that enters the north property line near the northwest corner of the parcel, so that's where it's at right now. Regarding public water, we wish to construct a second water service tap as shown on the plans and leaving the existing tap near the northwest corner of the parcel for use when the site should be more fully developed. This will allow us to bring it to the south and be more in line with the development of the property. If not, we would just have to run it farther down 64th Street to the south in order to not potentially get in the way of any future development of that parcel. If you wanted us to put and we'd also like to use the existing well for irrigation purposes, which is to the north of the parking area. If you wanted to put a second meter on that as well, we'd be willing to do that. We still wanted to keep that though. Nearest hydrant is marked on the new one, and then the calculations in there are related to the drain basin in the southwest corner. So we rated for results to make sure that the drain basin was up to everything you wanted, and as you can see on page 2, that it's there. It's a lot of math, but it is sufficient for the proposed facility related to impervious and whatnot, and the existing, watershed on the property. Not watershed, but water flow. Also, number 7, SESE permit will be acquired prior to beginning any work. Those are some of the updates that I had for you related to the site plan itself. I'd be willing to address any questions you might have.
I noticed on the engineering review and reading new off that doesn't look like sanitary capacity is available along 64th Street.
Sewer, no, sewer comes off of Blue Star.
Oh, is that on the revised plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck finding a hooker.
Okay. see the existing sanitary?
Yep.
Here, now, this is what you need to look at, you need to look at this one. The existing.
Take a look real quick.
Thank you. That will show you. Shows the existing. Which comes in up here. Is where the existing is. We shouldn't have an issue bringing that down.
So it is on your side of the road.
Yes, there is existing sanitary sewer.
Okay, I'd like at this time to open it up to, public comments. If there are any.
How much water will the retaining basin
Can you
hold?
come to the, microphone, please, and state your name?
Please state
Thank
your,
you.
name and address.
My name is Claire Ray, I'm from 6432 Blue Star Highway, spectators. My question is retaining pond, how much water is that gonna hold? Since there's no gutters, there's no sewer, runoff water and stuff like that, and I've already got enough problems coming from up the hill to me, and it goes down to Joe. Is it gonna come across the road? How much water is gonna be in this parking lot, is what I'm asking. How big is this parking lot, how much water is gonna be on it? The water's all gonna run to the runoff, right? To its retention pond? And that's not gonna be higher than the road, right? Yeah, you can't fill up and go over, right?
No, you have to keep everything outside.
Yes. I mean, you shouldn't have any trouble getting water, cause it's right there. No water, sewer, you might have trouble getting sewer, but water. Okay. And now, in relationship to our driveway, where are you gonna be at coming in?
Right where the existing, I can, to the south side.
Okay. So there's a okay, that's fine.
Right here, so there is a telephone pole that's in the middle that we can work with, which is fine, because this will actually come to the south of it. Go ahead.
So the driveway is not on this, plan?
No, this is existing.
It's on the next plan.
On the next plan, we.
Well, there's a driveway there, Joe, already. It
Yes.
circles.
Okay, so if you flip up, then that, you've got the new driveway under the under plan?
Yes, the new driveway is right here,
I see.
right here, with the retaining basin where it currently existing is, the water basin, as well in the building here on the south side of the property. Within the setback.
Right. The bottom sheet underneath that is the one that shows the building driveway.
Yeah, underneath that is the site plan.
Yep.
Can I ask what you're gonna do in the future, as far as the front part?
Not sure, we don't have any plans right now, it is 3.5 acres, so we didn't necessarily wanna limit ourselves. A facility like this, a marijuana provisioning center, doesn't need 3.5 acres, it was what was kind of available that we're working within. We have no plans as of right now, but we didn't, like I say, wanna limit ourselves. Should an opportunity arise or whatnot, just because it's a large parcel.
I understand. Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Okay, I'd like to close the public hearing at this time. And open it up to the commission for your comments and questions. Renee, would you like to go?
Sure, I can just go through So section 40-693 governs special approval uses for medical marijuana facilities. So we do have some standards, both, for special approval uses in general, and then specific standards for, the medical marijuana provisioning center. So, section, 40-746, item 1, facilities shall be sufficiently set back from property lines or screened or buffered, with fence, wall, landscape screening. So we did find that the applicant is proposing to maintain much of the existing landscape screening on site, and has shown that the existing tree line would remain. And they are adding 5 new trees along the 24-foot entrance drive. Number 2, we have a standard that the applicant provide a plan for storage and disposal of marijuana. We did not see a disposal room, in the floor plan. So we added a condition requiring this, and we asked that the applicant provide that to, staff and the planning commission for consideration. We also have a standard that no marijuana may be stored overnight outside of an enclosed building. So I did not see an outdoor waste bin, so I assume that they are not proposing to store any marijuana outdoors.
Is that true?
Yeah, there's no, nothing will be stored outside in regards to waste, because it's a provisioning center, we don't, I'd probably say 80 to 85% of our waste is like cardboard boxes. The only time that we ever throw away, medical marijuana, there's a state process to it. It either has to be kitty litter and ground up and sufficient enough for the state to give us the thumbs up in order to dispose of it in just regular public recipients. So it gets destroyed, damaged, mixed with other things and put outside. And, I mean, we do whatever the state really wants us to do. But in regards to storing anything outside or any plant waste, there isn't any plant waste because we're just a retail facility where almost everything we have is prepackaged, ready to go. Like I said, about 80% of what we throw away is cardboard boxes and stuff like that.
Do you have a proposal where you'll have a dumpster or whatever on site?
I mean, we can, I don't necessarily think we need a full dumpster.
Okay, well, I didn't know
Right.
how you were gonna.
Yeah, we were just gonna use probably just the regular, you know, Herbie if that would be allowed. We've been doing that so far. Anytime we do have any that needs to be disposed, we usually take it somewhere else. I could if you guys wanted me to do that.
No,
I don't
it's
really-
just-
Yeah, no, I'm
wondering
just saying,
how
yeah,
you-
I don't necessarily see a need for it.
Okay.
Thank you. Item number 4 is about the signage, may not depict marijuana, marijuana-infused products, or marijuana-related paraphernalia. We did not review any of the signage, but we did note that the building has a green-colored roof and green banding. No, I don't know that that necessarily indicates a provisioning center, but it is something that the planning commission may wish to discuss with the applicant, whether that color is kind of depicting the type of business it is. Item number 5 is not applicable at this time. It's related to co-locating and stacking licenses. Item number 6, all of that is related to the air filtration and odor control. And the applicant, I know that they do have, they have discussed with me the system that they intend to use, but we do not have that on file, so we just wanted to let you know that that information has not yet been provided for the planning commission. Item number 7 for provisioning centers, the hours of operation are restricted to the hours of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. The applicant did not provide this in their application. They may wish to speak to you about their hours of operation. We also restrict the hours that deliveries can be received. Again, we did not have that information from the applicant. And then the interior of the facility, you cannot be able to see marijuana or marijuana-infused products from the exterior of the building. And and we believe that from the design of the building and the clear story windows, that you would not be able to see those products from the outside of the building. The special approval use standards, so this is a special approval use in the C3 district. This use we found would not change the essential character of the area. In fact, we allow this type of use in this district as a special approval use. Will the special approval use be hazardous or involve uses, activities, materials, or equipment which might prove detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of persons or property by reason of traffic noise, vibration, smoke, fumes, or glare? I wasn't able to determine whether this use would or would not be hazardous because I really wanted to see that air filtration information, which I didn't have at the time. So I found that I wasn't able to answer that one. Will the special approval use place additional demands on public services and facilities? We found that it would not provide additional demands. Retail uses are permissible in the C3 district. And then the standards for the site plan, as mentioned, the driveway configuration, the applicant has provided some background on that driveway location. The landscaping, we found that that standard was met. In terms of natural resource protection, there are no wetlands on the site. We feel that they are protecting the woodlands that they've identified on the property at this time. The township engineer provided a report, and he will be reviewing all the stormwater and drainage calculations. We've required that those be provided. The stormwater management system, that standard will be met upon compliance with the recommendations of the township engineer. In terms of the site plan providing visual and sound privacy for dwelling units nearby, we found that that standard will be met. There really are no single-family dwellings in close proximity. Emergency vehicle access, the standard is met, and the fire district did review the site plan and has comments and conditions that the applicant has agreed with. Number 8, that every structure has access from a public street or walkway. We did find that the standard was met, and we also did have the email in your packet from the Allegan County Road Commission, and we did have that question with them as to which side of the property that they preferred access be taken, and the applicant has complied with what the Allegan County Road Commission recommended. Number 9, there shall be a proper relationship between major thoroughfares and service drives. We found that that standard was met. A pedestrian circulation system is not required. Number 11 relates back to the dumpster and storage of trash. And the applicant has stated that they'll use one of the push carts for trash. Exterior lighting, we did not see any lighting on the site plan. We have not heard from the applicant about lighting, so I think we might want to discuss that. Number 13 was not applicable. Number 14 was not applicable. Number 15, the wastewater treatment system. We had the review by the township engineer, and the applicant shall comply with those standards. Number 16, sites which include facilities or areas for storage of hazardous materials shall be designed to prevent spills or discharges of those chemicals. We do state that the applicant shall comply with the requirements of the engineer and the fire district. Number 17 is about outdoor storage areas, and none are proposed. Number 18, also about outdoor storage, and none are proposed. Number 19, the use, we will not create any electrical, electromagnetic, or other interference. Number 20, that solid, liquid, and sanitary waste shall be treated and disposed of. in accordance with county health department requirements, and that standard will be met. And then that the site plan complies with all local, state, county, federal, standards for, codes, soil erosion, and we say that the standards will be met upon compliance with the conditions of approval. And then finally, we do have architectural review for commercial uses, and this is where I think some of the comments also come into play related to the building itself. So I know that the applicant did receive this report in advance of the meeting, so that's something you might want to talk to the applicant about, but we do have building standards, and we found that the architecture does not meet, at least the front facade does not meet the standards described for requiring architectural variety and uniqueness of design that favors residential aspects of that architecture and blending with the natural forested setting of the rural township, because it's a cement block building. We also have a requirement that 80% of the exterior finish be wood, split, or natural face stone, brick, or architectural block. We also found that the building did not comply with that. That the front facade provides a minimum of 50% glass. And we do not believe that the building meets that standard either. The renderings that were provided were not dimensioned, so I was also not able to really calculate that at this time. Number 4, that building materials and colors shall be related and harmonious with the rural character of the township. Again, we found that the colors and the materials were inconsistent with the requirements. We did find that the roof pitch does meet our ordinance. The building shall have appropriate architectural features, details, and ornaments such as archways, colonnades, cornices, or peaked roof lines. We did not find that the building as proposed meets that requirement. Number 7 is not applicable. Number 8, facades that face the street shall have a variety of varying roof lines, varying building lines, recesses, projections, insets, arcades, etc. We found that the building has 2 fronts, one at Blue Star and another at 64th. It does not appear that this building meets the standards as described. We didn't see any kind of insets or projections. It's pretty much a square cement block building. Number 9 requires that the entrances utilize windows, canopies, or awnings. There is a cement block column at the front of the building, but I was not able to see all 4 sides of the building to really finalize a determination on that. Rooftop equipment shall be screened. The renderings do not show any rooftop mechanicals, but if there are any, we just want to reiterate that those shall be screened. Number 11 is not applicable. Number 12 is not applicable. Number 13 is not applicable, and number 14 is not applicable. So at the time that I reviewed this, I found that because of the deficiencies with the building itself meeting our architectural standards, as well as the question related to the hours of operation and then the odor control, and at the time I did have questions about the waste disposal, I didn't feel like I had enough information to have conclusive recommendations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you like to address the architectural aspects of the building?
Sure. In regards to what was proposed there, I know it says, I believe it says cement block. and I can get some clarification to kind of show you guys. It's more of a split face colored block. It's not just straight, concrete. It doesn't look like the concrete bunker, I guess is the best way to do it. I can provide some examples for you guys. In regards to the color, I mean, the color is something that we've used, we're using on a couple of our stores, something that we're totally open to change as well. We're not married to that by any means. In relation to what exactly you guys would like to see architecturally, we have an idea. I have a couple different examples that I could potentially propose to you guys as well, see whatever one you guys think fits the area a little bit better. I know everybody's kind of got a unique feel when it comes to cities and townships, so it's something that we're definitely open to having you guys review if you'd like to, and kind of give the full sign off on it. The proposed square footage is similar to a building that we're in the process of building right now that we feel works for us, and it works from a security standpoint as well. It's very easy to manage the employees and the customers in a building this size and the way that it's kind of set up, and I can provide any more information for you guys for all four sides of the elevations. We initially just proposed the security plan, I believe, and just the floor plan as well as what you kind of see, since it is relatively symmetrical. In regards to the lighting, there will be lighting on the building, security lighting, as well as just natural lighting for it. In regards to the parking area and the drive-in, I'm open to whatever you guys would like to see when it comes to that as well. And in regards to the landscape, we mentioned there will be just some areas that we'll have to be clearing out, like we like to clear. We'd like to keep the trees, I should say. When I say clearing, I mean clearing the brush, just because everything's kind of overgrown there. We're going to leave as many of the trees as possible that we can. There will be just brush clearing, probably along Blue Star, and probably along the south side of the property. According to the drive on that, or where the driveway is proposed, Allen County says we have to take out 2 trees in order to mat it, so our goal is to try to take out as few as possible. Like I said, if anything, we're open to any suggestions, or if you guys want to see any more information from us on any of this stuff. In regards to the odor control too, it's really simple. We have a carbon filter system that's within the building. I looked at some of the requirements, and I didn't know if that was directly, or it looked to me more like that was for a grow facility. We don't really have to worry about smell too much. Like I said, everything's pretty much prepackaged. I mean, maybe one day a week you'll get smell if you're inside the building, and that might be when we're bringing in bulk flower, but other than that, even within the building, you don't smell anything. Like I said, everything's prepackaged that comes in, but we can put a carbon filtration system in there. We have a small one in one of our stores. We have one that's also in a strip mall, and we beefed it up and got a little bit bigger carbon filtration system since it has shared walls on each side. We don't have any issues with any of the neighbors. Like I said, smell from a retail facility isn't really an issue whatsoever. But if you guys would like to see the documentation on what we use and stuff, I can provide that for you as well. Basically, we're open to anything. Oh, and the hours of operation, I can propose something right now. I mean, usually what we do is we propose to just follow what the ordinance is. So we will operate between these times. It's kind of hard to say. We've tweaked hours on locations, but we don't really know that until we've been operating for a while. For instance, there's some areas where it doesn't make sense for us to be open on Sundays, so we're not. Our goal is, I mean, we'll follow your proposed hours anywhere between 9 and 9. I don't know exactly what it is. We'll probably start at like 10 to 7. Seems to be consistent. In the wintertime, when it gets darker, we're usually not open as late. In the summertime, we might go out to like 8 p.m. It all depends kind of on traffic flow and how the area is. But if you guys want something concrete, I can give you something concrete as well. It's just kind of hard to say. Right.
Yeah, we would like to see some proposed hours and make sure they fall within our guidelines.
Right, okay, yeah, we'll probably start at 9 to 8, and then if anything, we'll come in from that. I just don't necessarily know what it is. If you guys have any preferences as well too, we're open to it, you know, what kind of the community wants.
Okay.
So, relative to the architectural questions and aspects, how soon, or, I mean, do you say you have samples and proposed designs, do you have them tonight? Or?
I don't have them tonight, but I can provide them for you probably by Wednesday, or Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at what's proposed here and the things Lynette said in terms of materials.
Right.
I think there's definitely room for improvement.
Absolutely, and we can get you that, I can get you that information very shortly.
Okay.
In fact, after I received her information, I shot that over to the architect, said we need to make some updates and some changes, and he said, I'm on it. He didn't have it ready for me at this meeting, but I can provide it to you hopefully by midweek this week is what he said, Wednesday, Thursday.
And then two things that I can't ascertain myself from the plan. How many parking spaces are there?